We know that the destructive reach of Wisconsin Republican Governor Scott Walker extends pretty far. It includes destroying labor unions, it includes destroying collective bargaining, hurting Wisconsin schools, Koch brother cronyism, so much more. But we now know that it also extends to the Supreme Court. Scott Walker recently appointed Rebecca Bradley to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and it's been uncovered very quickly, mind you, that she once wrote articles calling gay people queers and arguing that anybody who contracts AIDS deserves it. The governor first named her to the Milwaukee County Circuit Court in 2012. Then he elevated her to Wisconsin Court of Appeals in May of 2015. And in October, when a vacancy arose on the state Supreme Court, Walker again appointed her. She is now up for a full 10-year term when voters head to the polls on April 5th. The liberal group One Wisconsin Now released a column, actually a number of columns that Bradley wrote in 1992 for the student newspaper at Marquette University, urging her to resign from office. And in one column, she criticized people trying to bring attention to the AIDS epidemic. Let's put up a quote that she had written here in this piece. Quote, "But the homosexuals and drug addicts who do essentially kill themselves and others through their own behavior deservedly receive none of my sympathy." She also said that it would be better to get AIDS than cancer because since it's a politically correct disease, it's going to be better funded and you can be more likely to expect to survive, I guess. Also, as I mentioned, referring to gay people as queers. She was asked about these claims and she put out a statement. And now, to her credit, Lewis, she said, "I'm embarrassed by these things I wrote. They have no bearing whatsoever on me as a judge today, and they have no bearing whatsoever on my current views." And she also accused One Wisconsin Now of a mudslinging campaign to distract people from issues. This is really the issue to me, Lewis. Is it mudslinging to publish something that somebody wrote verbatim, right? Is that mudslinging? You're just publishing what they wrote. At the same time, how far back should people be held responsible for things that they said? In this particular case, she was in college at Marquette and wrote this in the student newspaper. I don't think quoting someone verbatim is mudslinging, but there is a legitimate question about whether this should matter and whether she wrote this in some kind of confused situation. Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks used to be a huge right-winger. He wrote a whole bunch of right-wing stuff in college. We know he doesn't believe it anymore. So should he still face consequences as a progressive today? Not that this woman is a progressive, by the way, because of things he wrote in college. It's a similar sort of question. She says she doesn't believe any of this stuff.
I can't say with certitude that she does believe any of this stuff. I guess we can take her at her word. And so I don't know if I can put an exact age on when we can allow people to forget about things people have said. So my question would be, what type of person would Scott Walker appoint? And I think that is pretty clear.
Yeah, the damning thing is that, oh, by the way, Scott Walker appointed someone who wrote this type of stuff. That's really the thing that sort of corroborates the narrative that already is pre-existing. Send me your thoughts on this. I mean, she says she doesn't stand by it. So should we basically say there's no consequence or criticism that is valid anymore? Or do we say, well, what evidence do we actually have that she doesn't believe this stuff anymore, other than the fact that she said she doesn't?